All
Are
right.
you there? What hand am I holding
I
up?
What was that?
What hand am I holding up?
You're right.
Good.
Welcome everyone to the Trunk Tales. Grimsy is currently pooping, and I'm not joking. That's literally what he texted me. He said, "I'll be late. I'm pooping." So, but today we're joined with our first returning guest, BX Online, Becca. Um, Glad to have you here. Hate the circumstances for having you come back, though.
What? Oh yeah.
It,
I mean,
it'd be cool if we could have you on and not have to talk about these weirdos and stuff. I mean, we could do that too. We could have you on and just do an episode where we don't talk about the nonsense that's going on in the world.
I have a pretty interesting past, like in the gun community.
There we go. There we go. We'll have to bring you on for another episode. I do like though that we're finally starting to have some people back on, because now we don't have to tell like your origin story again, right? Like we can just jump into what the topics are and tell people, hey, go back and check out episode 2. I believe it was episode 2. Maybe it was 3.
I think it was 3.
Yeah. Go back and check out that episode. Learn what Becca's all about. Learn what she's been going through for years now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably about 3 years, 4
Wow.
years.
It's a long time doing this kind of stuff. I would get burned out like probably in days, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't really have like a very good attention span. Really bad, ADHD. Unless it's something that I'm like really like hyper focused on, like really want to do something, then I can do it. But if it's just something that I'm doing to like check a box, as soon as I like feel like either I've accomplished something or it's just taking too much of my time, then I'm like, I got to do something else.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons that I do keep doing it is because, I mean, it's really interesting, and it's something that I care about, passionate about, and so that helps.
That's fair. So I just saw, and for those people that aren't familiar, there's more than just one group that you're really after, right? 764, and there's like another one, or are they the same thing by a different name?
There's lots of different groups. Yeah. If you're talking about the child exploitation and extortion stuff, there's lots of different groups.
So I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you probably did. The owner or CEO or whatever of Roblox was being interviewed on
That
something.
guy's such a weird dork. He's so weird.
I haven't actually seen
Yes.
it, but his response to the question of, do you think that it's a problem that your platform has all these predators on it? And he said that it wasn't a problem, it was an opportunity.
I mean, I think he's trying to say it's an opportunity for them to like improve their. The guy is weird, okay? Like if you listen to him talk, you're like, what's wrong with this guy? Does he have like some kind of mental defect? Like, not trying to be mean. I'm not, but like, you listen to him, you're like, man, is this guy like super, like what's going on with him? I'm sure that he meant opportunity to improve their moderation, but
Right.
he just puts his foot in his mouth all the time, which makes him so hilarious. He's such a piece of shit, honestly. I mean, like they had so many opportunities by this point to improve their processes and take the opportunity to make their platform safe for kids, and they've consistently put profits over child safety in a very publicly facing way. I don't think that the public can hide it anymore.
I think
And you can't hide it from the public anymore.
so I'm like coughing a lot.
Me too. It's like the cedar.
Yeah, for us here, I don't know what it is actually here right now, but it really drives me kind of crazy to know that like all this information's been out there, right? Like this isn't just like the corner of X talking about this kind of stuff, or like some obscure group of people like working in the shadows to exploit or to expose this stuff. It's been on the mainstream news. It's been all over social media. It's been on major podcasts and stuff. And we can talk about the Sean Ryan stuff too as well, because dude, he, in my opinion, he's just a fucking complete clown. I know there's people that like him and everything like that, but it's so like almost like choreographed now that it doesn't. There's nothing authentic feeling about Sean Ryan. It's just
It's
all
a big club,
yeah.
a real big club, and you're not in it, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, I think he knows who. At least me. I don't know if he knows who Grimsey is because on my other show, I put out a short. I think it was in like February, something like that. I was just asking a question. Um, and around July, maybe August, it all of a sudden just caught fire. It was the weirdest thing. Like there were
Oh yeah, I
like
think I remember you telling me that.
there were like 4 or 5 comments for the first couple months or whatever, couple hundred, couple thousand views, and then all of a sudden it had like 250,000 views overnight and thousands of comments a day. Like I'm actually I should say tens of thousands of comments a day. I think last I checked it had over 350,000 comments. And it's just people
Wow.
pissed. It was just people pissed at me for asking the
Yeah.
question because I just wanted to know why he was arrested if there was more detail from like the 2012 arrest or something like that that I had the mugshot for. And people were like, he's an American hero. People should investigate you. You shouldn't be looking into Sean Ryan. I'm like, are you listening to yourself right now? Like, are you actually like listening to what or reading out loud, you know, what you're saying to me right now? All right, Grimsey sounds like he's getting on now.
Oh great. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Update: Grimsey is stuck in the head, losing back and tight. F's in the chat, boys. F. That's funny. Actually, so as Grimsey gets on, guys, here in a minute or so, I do also want to say that the winner for the chest rig from Ex Umbris Designs never responded. So
Oh,
we're
you can
just
give
gonna.
it to me. I'm here.
There we go. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Somebody
I'm
that.
just kidding.
So
No, give it to somebody else.
so we are live on YouTube and maybe on X. I don't think we're live on
Oh,
X. I don't
cool.
feel like setting it up, but so yeah,
I don't need a chest rig. That's fine.
we have 20 partners for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I actually haven't even announced the 20th one yet. I need to do that today, but so Ex Umbris sent their chest rig so that I could show it off, and it's not put together or anything like that. I just pulled it out of the package to like check it out. So somebody, once Grimsey gets on here, we can do it. I think what we'll do is we'll have you guys tag or like do something, say something, post something. I don't know. We'll see. Man, it's really taking a long time to get on here. Becca, I definitely appreciate and respect your time, and I'm sorry that Grimsey is putting you
It's
through
okay.
this, making you sit here and talk with me only.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Guys, if anybody has questions that you want answered by Becca during the full episode that'll come out on Friday, go ahead and put those in the chat so we can read them over and ask any of those questions. So we typically try not to answer the questions during the live stream. We save that for the actual full episode so people will actually go and watch it. Because if we answer everything in the live stream, then what's the point of the recording the episode, right? The power of fiber compels you. No, I don't have my contacts in, so if you guys see me like squinting and trying to read the chat, I think this is a 42-inch, 47-inch TV, something like that. That's my monitor for this. And I still, even with it literally taking up the whole right side of my screen, I still can't read. I'm still like blind. While we're still waiting on Grimsey, taking his sweet time, how did the whole debacle with that other, is he actually a former FBI agent? The guy that was like, don't believe
Yeah,
anything.
he is.
He is?
You know, he lies a lot about, or seems to misrepresent himself quite a bit. Kyle Seraphin, he apparently was only in the FBI for like a very short period, and he was fired. I don't remember what the reason was, but it had nothing to do with whistleblowing. It was because of his personal conduct, according to people who've worked with him. He has said that it's because he's a whistleblower, but it seems like that's all just kind of a grift that he's put out there to try to piggyback off these other real whistleblowers. You know, he became a full-time podcaster, which is strange because he seems to be making plenty of money, which, when you look at his podcast, you're like, yeah, I wonder how he's getting all of his money. But anyways, he has been fired from the FBI. And yeah, he did definitely work there. He lied to Sean's producer and said something about, um, what did he say? That he had done years in counterterrorism, which wasn't true. So,
Do you know what
yeah,
he
this guy,
actually? Do you know what he
uh,
actually did in the FBI? That was actually a question
I
that I wanted to ask.
he was I don't remember. He was a special agent. I think that they took him off of something. I mean, he was working in DC and he did do some surveillance of the pipe bomber. He did work on the pipe bomber case.
Okay.
But that didn't, apparently didn't take very long. And so I don't really know. I don't want to say something that's
No,
wrong
no,
and
I
then have
completely
him try to
understand.
sue me or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
because he's a total piece of shit. Like I like, I've had lawyers reach out to me and tell me like, you have a slam dunk defamation case against this guy. And I tell them like, listen, man, I appreciate that, but honestly, I'm a poor and I would just honestly just rather keep clowning on him on Twitter. It's way more fun to clown on him on Twitter because he's a clown, and I don't want to get involved in a defamation suit.
Yeah.
That's just way too much shit.
Well,
So,
chat,
yeah.
Grimsy has joined us, so let me add him to the stream here real quick. Grimsy, thanks for joining us.
Um, so yeah. Anyways, I don't know what his deal is. He decided to attack me out of nowhere. It really was out of nowhere. I don't know why he did it. I still don't know why, but it seems like I didn't really even know who he was. Like, we'd only had one very brief interaction on Twitter, and it was like a year prior. And then I just forgot about the guy. I never paid any attention to him. We didn't follow each other, nothing. And then, when I got invited to go on the Sean Ryan show, they canceled on me with like zero notice. Like, I was like gonna board my plane the next day, they canceled, and I was like, oh well, that sucks, and I was very disappointed. But I didn't have any reason to think that anything weird was going on. I just thought that they had to reschedule, and I thought that was kind of unprofessional, to be honest. So and because they didn't offer to reimburse me, and I had paid out of pocket for all of my travel and stuff, and I'm just like a nobody child advocate. I'm not like a politician or a celebrity with lots of money and stuff. And so, but then like the next day, Kyle Seraphin just jumped onto Twitter and started this smear campaign against me. But, which, to be fair, he could have just said, hey, who is this person? She's a nobody. And he would have been right. I couldn't have argued with that. But instead of doing that, he started to say that 764 is fake. It's not real. No one cares about it. She's crazy. And I don't know why he chose to do that, because he can't gaslight the whole internet. The
Yeah.
whole internet saw that and like immediately just like crushed down on him. He was attacked by tons of different people that had nothing to do with me, because people were pissed off at him. Why are you going to deny this pedophile ring? Who the fuck are you? You're an ex-FBI agent? That's weird, bro. So then once he started getting a lot of heat, he DM'd me to tell me that that if I continue to talk about 764, I will continue to get uninvited from podcasts, because there's lots of people out there with that influence and experience who are going to make sure that I don't get platformed. And I remember thinking, well, I remember my heart sinking to my stomach, because I'm thinking, holy shit, is he talking about the Sean Ryan show? Because I hadn't told anyone. I hadn't told anyone that I was even going on. I certainly hadn't told anyone they'd canceled, or that like they hadn't refunded my trip or anything, right? Because it just happened. And then I said, well, I was baiting him. I was like, nah, bro, like I've never been canceled off a podcast, whatever. And he said, okay, well, I hope you get your trip refunded. Which was like, okay, clearly he does know about the Sean Ryan show. Clearly he is talking about like claiming to have gotten me canceled from it. But he did, which is so funny to me, because if he had just shut his stupid egotistical mouth, I would have never known, ever known that was why. I would have never known. But he had to run his mouth. He had to start attacking me. And so then it just continued to escalate. He ended up sending a voice message to one of our mutual friends that was like, yeah, this is what happened. The Sean Ryan show called me and asked me about her. I said that she's crazy. None of the stuff she's saying is true. They said, okay, we'll drop her. And that's what they did. And then in the voice message, he continued to say stuff like he's going to try to get me fired from my real life job. He lives 10 miles from me. I should watch out. He plays in real life. I mean, stuff that I was like, I ended up filing an FBI report and
Yeah,
a
what the
local police
fuck?
report because I was considering getting a restraining order. Because I was like, is this guy going to snap and come kill me? Like, and you got to understand, like, how confusing and upsetting and scary this was for me, because not only was I dropped off the show that I'd been looking forward to for months, but now this crazy ex FBI agent was attacking me, and he was sharing like deep fake OnlyFans pages and crazy shit, crazy defamatory shit. He
Yeah, we
even went as
have we
far
have the
as to,
audio. We have the audio. We'll put the
yeah, yeah,
audio in the fucking video so
yeah.
y'all
So
could literally hear it. It's just wow.
yeah, he even went as far as to talk to some of these 764 accounts. He talked to a very specific account connected to 764, who I know is under investigation right now. And he was informed that he was talking to a bad actor that was accusing me of having CP on my computer. Well, once we told him he was talking to a pedophile terrorist, he deleted all of those tweets. And then he just continued to accuse me of having CP on my computer. He said that he was going to get me investigated by the FBI for having child porn. And then he said that he was going to get me investigated by CPS for abusing my kid. I mean, this guy was. I was scared. I was like, dude, what is Sean Ryan sending assassins after me? It's like, what is happening? Did I get too close to something? Are they going to kill me? Like, I know it sounds silly, but I was so confused.
For somebody to be that defensive,
Yeah.
and
And
go after
yeah.
you very specifically.
I was so confused. And you gotta understand, the only reason he came after me is because he found out I was going on Sean's show. And no one else knew. So
I wonder
when
if
this
Sean
blew
Ryan didn't
up,
actually call him. I wonder if he
it's a producer.
called them.
His producer called, apparently. I don't know, because when I talked to his producer, Jeremy Watkins, he was like, I'm not going to have anything to do with this. I'm not going to say anything at all. And I was like, no, you need to respond to this, because he's like going online and telling people that you canceled me because he said 764 is fake. And Sean Ryan's producer is like, I'm not going to have any part of it. Don't call me. Don't message me anymore. And so then I sent them an email to his female producer, or not his producer, but his scheduler. And I sent her all the evidence of what Kyle was saying. And I was like, this is not consistent with what I believe to be Sean Ryan's values. I'm very disappointed. And I'd like to handle this behind the scenes and not make it public. But I do think I deserve an answer for this. And they never responded. And then it eventually got out anyways, because Kyle kept running his mouth to people. So it broke externally to me, and I had to respond to it. Then it went not viral, but like there were thousands of retweets on it. People were noticing that happened, and they were demanding that Sean Ryan respond. Well, he just stealth unfollowed me from all my socials. So I know he saw it. And then, but he didn't respond. And then finally, after I did make a tweet mentioning that they weren't going to reimburse my trip, and that was fucked up. I was out $1,000. Then they messaged me and said, okay, well, we like to refund your trip. I'm like, because like people are pissed off and tagging you, like, refund, or what the hell's wrong with you? And then this is like a funny side story. I don't think I've ever told anyone this, but they were like, okay, send us your address so we can send you a check. And I was like, I don't fucking know, dude. I don't even know anymore. I'm like, I don't even know if I can trust you to send you my address. Is the CIA going to kill me? I was like freaking out. I was like, no, I don't want it. I was like, I have a great charity that deals with victims of online sexual abuse, and I'd love for you to just take that reimbursement and donate it to charity. They said, we can't do that. So eventually, they had me talk to the third-party processor, and they sent me the check directly, and then I donated it myself, because I was like, you ought to be matching my damn donation at this point. The whole thing was just crazy. And Sean Ryan had an opportunity to come out and say, hey, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but this is terrible, and I don't condone it. All he had to do was just make a response, and it would have been all good. It would have been fine. But then he came out with his 764 episode, And because also right after that happened is when the FBI started tweeting about 764. And honestly, I think it's because Kyle was saying it was fake. And as we've seen, the FBI really likes to show Kyle that he's not who he thinks he is.
I actually thought it was pretty cool. I know it was Dan at least tagged you, but did Cash as well or just Dan?
It wasn't Dan. No, both of them were tweeting about 764, but they didn't tag me. They were just tweeting about it really obviously as this whole thing was going on.
I saw somebody tag you.
Well, that was the FBI's new rapid response page.
Oh, okay. Why did I
Yeah,
thought it was
which
Dan
is really
for some
funny
reason.
because they said, what did they say? I asked them, hey, can you respond to claims from your former agent saying 764 isn't a priority? And they responded saying, hi, BX on X. Yes, it is obviously a priority, and anyone who says otherwise is frankly an idiot. Like clearly talking about Kyle, so that just pissed him off even more. So then, of course, he's like, oh, this OnlyFans whore, and like, oh, she's, 764 is fake. He's continued to double, triple, quadruple down. As recently as last week, he got bodied by Schlepp, the Roblox advocate, who was like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying this is fake? And so he's not having a good week. I mean, and just in general, his pipe bomb shit also fizzled out. I always wondered if maybe he thought that I had a counter narrative to his pipe bomber hypothesis, and that's why he tried to shut me down, because he kept mentioning Jade Parker, that former counterintelligence analyst, which was very strange and out of place. Why would you be mentioning her? She had claimed to know who the pipe bomber was, and I had made a video about it. So I'm wondering if he thought that I had information I was going to share on the Sean Ryan show, and he was scared. And that's why he did all of this, because it's just bizarre. It doesn't make any sense that he's denying this pedophile ring exists.
Yeah, it feels weird that he would come out of the woodwork like that. That screams to me, and I think to most normal people, that he's like running cover for it in some way. Maybe
I don't know that he's running cover for the pedophile ring. I took it as he's trying to silence and censor me because of something that I have that he doesn't want me to grow an audience to say what I have to say. I really do think it was personal. And I just want to also say that I was very upset about the 764 stuff just because of what happened to me. I was upset about him putting that video out just because of what happened to me and the fact that he never addressed it. And the fact he blocked me on Twitter for asking him about it. Because he was tweeting at Kyle Seraphin like a few weeks ago. And I remember saying, hey, isn't this the guy that lied to you and said the pedophile networks weren't real, so you canceled my show? And he blocked me. But I do want to say that I am happy that that information got out into the hands of parents. I'm actually a really big fan of Ryan Montgomery. He and I have talked before the Sean Ryan show came out. He and I talked after it came out. We chatted already. I let him know that I think that he did a really good job, and I have nothing against him. He's a genuinely good guy. And he had nothing to do with that drama. So I just wanted to make sure people know that that's nothing personal. And also that I am just happy that he was able to get that information to parents. And so I wanted to just drop it because I don't want people thinking this is about me getting credit for something, because it's definitely not about that. It's about the fact that people associated with Sean Ryan attacked me and tried to ruin my life and threatened me when I brought this information to him back in January of last year. He could have put this episode out in March, and how many parents could you have educated 8 months ago, right? And so, yeah, it's not, I just don't want people thinking, oh, she's trying to get credit for it. That's not the case at all. I just want to know why Sean Ryan's allowing these bad actors to gatekeep and target people for speaking out about these pedophile networks. What the hell's up with that, bro?
I wonder if
how many other big podcasts, here's the reality, dude. And you probably know about this, Andrew, but I don't know how long you guys have been in this sphere, but it really is a big club. It's a big club and you're not in it. They don't like outsiders. And here's another thing. If you say like, oh, they don't like people outside their club. They don't like people who don't have handlers. Okay. They look at somebody like me and they go, this girl doesn't have a handler. I'm not even saying that like, oh, conspiracy, everyone has a handler. No, everyone has a handler.
No,
and if you don't have a handler, they're scared because they can't control what you say.
It's really funny because that's exactly what I was getting ready to say, is that I wonder if Sean's handler or handlers, are making sure that only the messages that they want to get out, because like right now, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, other than midterms coming up next year, there's not really a big political push that he can do right now. So it's mostly cultural and, you know, recent events kind of things that he can do, maybe some war stuff and things like that. But like the IO guy shared with me his psyop thing that he's doing, and he's like, they're all the guys in like the SAP community.
I have to watch that. Did you drop that episode?
I don't know if he has or not, but he sent like the teaser preview or whatever, and like people were getting like these boxes and stuff. Like Nick Irving got one and posted about it. Some other people had got them as well. But he's like, dude, this is the corniest fucking shit, man. Like that's not what the PSYOP community is. That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
The stories that he's telling aren't what people think they are. You know, like there's so he wants to come on our show and do like a whole series and just
You
like
should.
yeah.
You know, I have a funny history with them too, because back when I started doing all this research, and this goes back to that specific person who was within the gun kind of community who was a bad actor. He was an Order of Nine Angles guy trying to like get people to do bad things, right, in the gun community on Twitter. And when I first came in, I came in real fucking hot. And I was like, there's a satanic cultist trying to brainwash people in this community into committing crimes. And people are like, you're fucking crazy. And like, yeah, obviously. Sounded crazy at the time. But listen, I'm one of the most vindicated people on the planet. Okay? I'm just saying. But at the time, it was weird. And also because I had been looking into Jade Parker, this counterterrorism analyst who'd claimed to know who the pipe bomber was before she disappeared. She didn't really disappear. She disappeared offline, but she was actually gearing up to do a lawsuit against pretty much everybody. But you know, it turned out that Jade Parker actually worked for Malcolm Nance, who you might remember went on this whole crusade against Goldcorp during the January 6th riot, trying to claim that these Special Forces ex-veterans were behind some of the instigation that day. And that false narrative that Malcolm Nance pushed actually made its way in front of the J6 committee and was ultimately debunked. But I remember getting into like kind of a scuff with IO guy online because I was trying to get information about this. I was so obsessed with that at the time. Like, who were these people who were actually at the Capitol on J5? Why did somebody put a Goldcorp sticker on Nancy Pelosi's door? Don't you think that's weird? Don't you want to know what that was? And I ended up finding out that it was a former CIA guy named Casey Gray who did that. And when he did it, he wasn't authorized to be in the Capitol. He just went in there, snuck in there, and pretended to be one of the crowd and pretended to be there for official reason. And then that enabled Malcolm Nance to allege that this Goldcorp place was behind this J6 stuff, which was a false narrative. They tried to set these people up. So I was telling IO guy, I was like, bro, they tried to set your ass up, you know? Yeah. And I think he was trying to be like casual about it. He was trying to like calm this crazy lady down. She doesn't have a handler. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I think the other day, this actually came up on Twitter again. And who is this guy? Snake Eater account, Red Devil something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, so he was one of the original Goldcorp guys, and he quote tweeted my tweet about Malcolm Nance doing that. And I said to him, man, they tried to set you up. He said, yes, they did. So there was like some pretty sketchy ops going on, even like that had to do with tied into the J6 and the pipe bomber and stuff. Yeah, so it's all just a tangled web, dude. It's a tangled web. And I guess I should clarify that the reason it's so interesting that Malcolm Nance was involved is because Malcolm Nance had a think tank called Tapestry, Terrorism, Asymmetric Warfare Project, something or other, where they would do war game simulations. And they even did a simulation about J6 before it happened. They had the whole thing planned out, and then it ended up taking place exactly how their simulation had showed it would turn out, which was a little suspicious. Yeah. Malcolm Nance even came out with a video talking about how, oh yeah, I predicted January 6th, and you're like, interesting. You know, I really do think that there were, you know, Malcolm Nance part of the intelligence apparatus, and I do think that there were intelligence contractors behind the scenes, you know, creating the conditions for this kind of thing to take
remember
place.
What Malcolm put on his wife's headstone? The wife.
Okay, hold on. Real quick, I want to say big ups to fucking Goldcorp, okay? Best trolls are the fucking trolls since troll. Listen, the biggest fucking thing since getting rickrolled, bitch. Big Goldcorp shit, man.
Coming into that,
Doc, I got you, baby.
coming into that a couple years confusing, but ultimately I realized what had happened, and I really respect the way that these guys just memed it into nothingness. They took it off. They took on with the meme, and that was the right move, just to clown on these guys incessantly. But I think that it's covering up the fact that it actually I don't want to cover up the fact that it did go before the J6 committee. So it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Man, we had Adam Christian Johnson. I never can remember if it's Christian or Christensen, but we had him on so that he could talk about everything that's happened since like the pardon and everything like that, and what he went through, obviously like with his time in prison and all the court stuff and everything like that. So it kind of, one of the things that he brought up, and I do want to close out the live stream here in a few minutes. So if you guys want to drop your questions in here before we go to record the actual full episode, one of the things that he brought up though is that because of the way that they were pardoned, receiving a full pardon versus whatever the other options were, they're actually not able to like appeal or seek restitution or anything like that for what happened to them. So any like money and court fees or attorney's fees or whatever that they had to pay for, basically it's just like, sucks to be you. You can't do anything about it because we gave you a full pardon. I was like, man, that's fucked up. That's like that. I understand that, like having a full pardon, like you have been, released from whatever wrongdoing you either did or didn't do. But then at the same time, for them to be like, but you also can't come after us for it now. Like that's fucked up. Because in theory, I mean, I'm sure it is. You could weaponize that all day. You could ruin somebody's life, drag them through the mud, and then just be like, okay, now you're pardoned, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's insane to me.
There's an acronym, it's called MICE: money, ideology, compromise, ego. That's the 4 ways that they can get somebody they can coerce people to do whatever they want them to do, right? And if it turns out that a person who's talking, he doesn't have a handler, can't, they're not candidates for one of those things. The other thing they can do is just try to smear them and ruin their credibility and drag them through the mud and basically destroy their credibility so that nobody believes them. Gaslight them, do whatever you have to do. And this is something that I've seen lots of times happen to people. Luckily for me, I'm a very strong-minded, stubborn motherfucking bitch, and they're not going to be able to gaslight me into oblivion. I'm not going anywhere. So fuck them.
So the question or the thing that I've noticed, the old saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I think that that's more true now than ever, because you have these people like, what's his name? Hassan, and some of these other, like these crazy people on the internet, these streamers, obviously podcasters as well, bad actors of every kind, because they're able to quickly reach a lot of people who have the same ideology as them, and it comes from people saying, like retweeting things or quote tweeting things or whatever and saying this guy is dumb, this idea is dumb, and then there's people that literally hate follow them, and they're like, oh, well, you're saying this is dumb and I don't like you, so I'm going to agree with this now, and it grows their audience. It's
that's called being a controlled op.
Yeah.
Controlled opposition, right? If this person says it, then it must be fake.
Yeah. It's insane. And the way that some of these accounts have just exploded, and these people, I think somebody put together a whole like long, history storyline of Harry Sisson and how his account was created. His account.
Say his name again.
Harry Sisson. I don't know. I call him Harry Sissy normally, but
I don't know how to say his name.
So
I love hearing you fucking mispronounce shit, bro.
I don't know how do you say his name. How do you say it?
I call him Harry Sissy, but I'm pretty sure it's Sisson, which kind of makes sense. Sisson, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a little. Oh man, I'm gonna get us banned in here. Man, let me relax, man. He's a little cuck boy from Ireland. You know what I'm saying? We don't really respect, bro.
So his account was created when he was 9 years old, right? So obviously he didn't make his account. And one of the things that people notice is, on the info thing on X now, it'll tell you how many times they've changed their name. His name has never changed. So the theory,
Ro's been groomed to do this. Like that actually happens.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen them take kids from like Hollywood and groom them to be, influencers and journalists.
it's the tale as old as time, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin. That boy is the fucking political Macaulay Culkin.
Very true.
Look at it this way. If an ex-CIA person suddenly becomes suddenly has a podcast, it's one of the biggest in the world, right? You got to wonder, right? What's going on there? Because CIA, big podcasts, name a more iconic duo there, right? The CIA journalistic and industrial complex is very, very real. And that's why I didn't trust Sean's show beforehand. But at the same, and in fact, when he asked me to come on his show, it was at the exact same time that whole Cybertruck fiasco was going on in Las Vegas. And he had put out this crazy podcast and everyone was questioning him. Like, what the hell is this? We're so confused. And I had even messaged a friend and said, I don't trust this Sean Ryan guy. He seems like the CIA. And then like the next day, the producer messaged me to go on the show. And I was like, well, fuck. Now I'm very confused. I asked a few friends. I'm like, what should I do? They were like, well, you have to go on because, he does have people who are good from time to time. And like, you have an opportunity to educate millions of parents and that's what you need to do. So I agreed. But I didn't ever trust him to begin with because I don't trust anybody who says they're ex-CIA. If they're, not just in general, but as a rule, if they now have a giant, massive podcast that influences things in the country and the world, it's probably because they're still working for the CIA in some capacity.
Yep. And I've said that basically since I figured out who he was, and I don't understand how people cannot connect those two dots. On that note, I do want to close out the live stream. I've got some questions and stuff that we can bring up on the actual full episode. So, chat, thanks for joining us. Grimsy, you want to send us out from here?
Yeah. Bullet, fuck you. Donut, fuck you. Jay, fuck you. Doc, fuck you. Florida Boy, fuck you. Everybody else that's in here, y'all cool. Asmongold is a goat. Love, peace, and chicken grease, man. We'll catch y'all on the episode.